Infused. That is actually going to be our matchup that will take place on the main stage in just a little bit. So we might as well set this one up because this is going to be a great game. And you had mentioned for Oxygen Supremacy getting that first matchup against my show. That's a potential big confidence booster if they take the series. So far up 1-0. So all signs are pointing to an Oxygen Supremacy victory if it keeps on going this way. Now though, on the other side of this, you have Infused Reciprocity, and Infused going up against the headliner in this group. But furthermore, they have the Reciprocity now have that like, oh, we got a good match early on here. But should they sleep on Infused Lethal?
Infused is one of those teams you absolutely should not. And we spoke to SnipeDown before at Columbus, and they said that Orlando Reciprocity were a little bit flimsy. They weren't playing that well, and he even admitted that. And then a couple of days before Columbus, he was like, you know what, we're feeling it now. You know, we changed our work ethic 2 weeks before the event, and we managed to at least make a huge amount of progress, because sometimes it's just the work ethic that needs to be fixed sometimes. And I think now that they fixed that 2 weeks before Columbus, and they've had a further 3 or 4 weeks to try not only stay in that top 4 spot, but to at least push for that top 2, because as you know, Tox and Splice are kind of in their own little bubble in that tier list. So Reciprocity against Infused, it would be nice to see how Infused play, because they've got top 6 before. They know what it's like to play against the top 4 teams, but the question is, do they have the capabilities and the skill to do it? This is where we're here to find out.
That's right. Well, good news is, though, we did get to hear from SnipeDown earlier on about this matchup. So let's go ahead, check that out.
SnipeDown, it's day 1 of the Halo World Championships. Incredible atmosphere right now. We are in amongst so many fans in the audience. We've got a game going on behind us, but you are up next. You're facing Infused. Now, you've had a really good run so far this season, and now you're facing London champions coming out of the qualifiers. How are you feeling?
Yeah, so Infused has been a top team ever since the first Worlds. They've always been pretty much the #1 team in EU. So we're happy to be able to play a great EU team like that. It's always good to go against tough competition early. That way, if we move on, then we have a little bit of an advantage going against higher caliber players. So definitely excited to play a really solid team first.
What's the mentality like right now? I mean, you haven't played yet. It's your first game of the day, first game of a really important weekend. How are you mentally preparing for this?
This is just, we try and treat it like any other event. Obviously, it's a way larger scale, but we're here, we're confident, we practice, we put in the work. There's really nothing to give us jitters. Maybe right as game 1 starts, a little anxious potentially, but overall very confident and calm going into the series, and we're going to come out firing.
Speaking of the confidence, what can I expect from you and your team on this stage, your first game? What are we going to be seeing? Is it 3-0? Are you going to close this one out?
I'm hoping for a 3-0, definitely. I'd say 3-0, 3-1 is what we're looking for. We don't want anything closer than that, that's for sure. I don't want to get a little scary in there, but definitely I'm hoping for a 3-0, and I'm just hoping to come out as hot as we possibly can. If we come out and start strong, then that's just going to set the pace for the rest of the weekend.
Of course, I can't wait. Congratulations on being here. Good luck. I can't wait to see you play. Boys, back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Lottie, for that one. Always a pleasure to hear from SnipeDown, the legend himself. He's been competing for so long. A name very familiar with fans of not only just competitive Halo, but also esports in general. The guy's been on the grind for such a long time. He surrounded himself with a stupendous team that has really showed up throughout the course of the Halo World Championship. But now let's take a look at the series layout, because we're going to start things off with Strongholds on Plaza. Then after that's going to be Slayer Regret, followed by CTF Truth, and then if necessary, we will go to Strongholds Empire, and then Slayer Coliseum. So looking at this series here, and also looking at the practice that Reciprocity has put in leading into this event, they have scrimmed so much. This is a team, Clutch, that is very hungry for a victory here in Seattle.
Yeah, all these players have something to prove to me. They've been beaten by Envy. You got Splice. You have Tox on top. I mean, this Reciprocity roster has the individual skill to be competing with those teams. They need to make that next step. They need to have that one tournament that they can look back on and say, you remember that, and this is a perfect situation.
I completely agree. I think they do need to take the next step. Their highest placement was the previous event in Columbus, right? And some might argue that they got a favorable bracket there, and that's what led to that 3rd place finish. I personally see Reciprocity as the 4th best North American team. I think Envious is better than them. I think Tox and Splice are on another level. And when you look at the 2 sets of scrim results, these 2 teams have been, they haven't played against each other because SnipeDown said, hey, we don't want to give any strats away. We don't want to feel them out. We want to go fresh. And the two results, honestly, that stand out for me, Infused played Envious before this event, the World Championships, tied 6-6. Envious, a world caliber team, third best team in the world in my opinion. Reciprocity played them, they lost 3-9. So if you're looking at that, obviously Halo 5, very matchup dependent game where the Reciprocity weren't playing very well on that day. I just think that, you know, you can read into that and you could argue that Infused definitely has a shot in this series.
One thing I do need to read into though is that in Columbus, Reciprocity played Splice harder than Tox did in the finals, or in the loser bracket, or elimination bracket finals. So that just and you
Winners
know,
finals it was.
Winners. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't winners finals.
Must have been.
Splice weren't in the winner finals.
These guys in Reciprocity, I mean, they have what it takes. They just need to put it together at a tournament. I mean, they have the individual skill, and I mean, they're all great Halo players in their own retrospect, but this team has underperformed at each tournament they've been to so far. So, I mean, this is your last chance. This is your opportunity to come out and show yourself that you are worthy of winning a tournament.
Yeah, and with Reciprocity as well, like you mentioned earlier about Splice, they lost to him, I think it was 4-2 in that loser bracket final, and it kind of shows that Tox lost to him overall 8-1 in that grand final, so it shows they can keep up with Splice at a certain level, but like, I'm really interested to see how much progression they've made in those 3 weeks. They could be close to their level, they could be at the same, so it's nice to see, but it's like SnipeDown said, they really need to make a statement in this first match against Infused to say, look, we're here to play, we want to win, we don't just want top 3 or top 4, we really want to make a progress in this event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this game and a lot of stuff to break down as well. But first, though, we got to give a special shout out to one of our sponsors here for the Halo World Championship 2018, and that is going to be Samsung with their QLED TV. The best way to play the Halo, best way to play Halo 5, best way to play on your Xbox One X. Big thank you to Samsung for supporting the Halo World Championship 2018. But there's a lot to break down in this matchup, but I know you guys want to hear us. You want to go right into the action, because coming up next, we're going to have Infused versus Reciprocity. Just a little while ago, though, we saw Straight Rippin' rally back and win 3-1 against the European squad known as Fable. Straight move on. They continue to perform, but now all sights are set on another European team. It will be Infused versus Reciprocity coming up next.
Enemy team scoring. Perfect kill. That's a double. Every bullet counts. Perfect kill. And that's a triple. Damn, you're good. Oh, it's a clean sweep. Area taken. You're scoring. Perfect kill.
Master Chief believes she contacted him.
I am Warden Eternal.
I mean, how are you even supposed to bring them in? Ask politely.
I have a job to do.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about
thanks
the
for the
girl
follow
you
there.
love and hold her tight. So happy together.
39 kills! Sweet!
View and stream your favorite games on the Mixer mobile apps.
You're strong. But I could snap my fingers, and you'd all cease to exist.
Went forward in time to see all the possible outcomes.
Did we win any?
It's a small price to pay for salvation.
Avengers: Infinity War. Rated PG-13. Everywhere April 27th.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Halo World Championship 2018 Finals in Seattle, Washington. And boy, do we have a matchup here. We have got the #3 North American team, Reciprocity, going up against the #1 European team, Team Infused. A lot of people are questioning, can the European squad take down one of the top North American teams? Well, we're about to see if that's possible. I'm standing next to the one and only Boogie Down champion right here. Well, maybe not champion just yet, but master, I should say. You got the moves. Dan Gaskin, everyone, good to have you here.
I do have some good dance moves. Thank you, Strongside. You said it right. I mean, this is Team Infused's chance, really, to show what they're made of here as the best European team, going up against a team that I really think they could do very well against. And what a perfect way to start the tournament for them as well, because realistically, they can lose this game and still move through to the tournament. Very different from what we just saw from Fable. Fable may now have real struggles to get through the tournament and get any further than the pool play. But for Infused, even if they were to lose this, they still have a fantastic chance of getting out of groups. So it's a perfect warm-up game for them here, Strongside.
Yeah, and we heard the other guys talking about kind of leading into the event. Both teams getting a decent amount of practice. Team Infused flying out to North American soil to try and get practice against those top North American teams before this event. But Team Reciprocity, they were right there with Team Infused, putting in practice nearly every single game against most of the top teams. And you know, funny enough, we constantly talk about Splice and how they never really practice. Well, Team Reciprocity, they're the only team that got some practice leading into the event against Splice. But we're going into game number 1, folks. Let me hear you if you're out there. Strongholds Plaza, and we're going to kick things off with Mikwin as he's making his way directly into the yard. Spots a player. Penguin's going to help him out to finish that kill, and Penguin picks up a double kill to kick off the match.
Yeah, you've got to say, practice against Splice is really going to help them. But if we look at this actual game type, it looks a little bit better for Infused if we're looking at statistics. It doesn't matter if we're looking at online statistics or LAN statistics. It's been a very solid game type for Infused. Strongholds in general, throughout Europe, Team Infused are the dominators when it comes to this game type. So I'm really, really interested to see how they're going to do against Reciprocity here.
Penguin making his way towards bottom middle. He does have a plasma pistol in his back pocket. See if he's going to put this to use. But he's got SnipeDown with camo as well. So Reciprocity starting off the game quite strong, getting all the goodies. Camo, plasma pistol, and potentially, yep, we saw Mikwin with the shotgun as well. And we're going to see if they're going to be able to continue this run. Already starting things off hot with 10-0 lead. And SnipeDown's going to pick up a headshot, but he's going to fall shortly after.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start from Infused. You could see they were going in the right places. They were trying to do the right things, but they just couldn't quite execute it. And maybe that is just the hot start of Reciprocity really showing off here, as Mose can't find that kill either. Not quite able to get close enough. A real shame, because they need to get these big individual kills to allow the team to then push through and grab the strongholds.
Well, 3 players were down from Team Infused. You saw Respectful stay alive, and that's exactly what you want to do in that type of scenario. Wait for your teammates, but SnipeDown, he's on the prowl. He's making a move. He picks up a shotgun kill, and now continuing to take over the yard. Look at that. 3 players down for Team Infused. Not a single player from Reciprocity fell. So Reciprocity right now, they have got Team Infused number.
And this is the thing, I will wave my British flag as much as I like, but I can really appreciate some good Halo. And at the moment, Reciprocity, they are not letting up. They're so aggressive, playing so fast, rotating perfectly around the map just to shut down Infused every time they spawn. Infused are really struggling to do anything off spawn at the moment, and it doesn't help when SnipeDown's just running riot through everybody, picking up a big double there.
Yeah, right when you think SnipeDown's probably going to get taken down bottom middle because you saw 2 of his teammates go down, he's going to just pick up a double kill like it's not a problem. Over to Jimbo, though, with camo. He immediately goes down, so no camo going to be able to help out Team Infused in this next run. 2 are still down, trying to make a move towards bottom middle. They're able to pick up SnipeDown.
Yeah, really, really important part of the game now for Infused. They've managed to get some strongholds on the go. They're putting points on the board, and they have Reciprocity on the back foot. So they need to get these really influential slays now. They need to control the top middle, watch where Reciprocity are trying to drop, and make sure they're cooling out perfectly. But Spartans just picked up a really big grenade kill, which kind of shuts down any control that Team Infused had of the top middle.
Mose, he's going to fly down to bottom trucking. Oh no! Spartan gives him the moves right there, taking him out. That's going to be 3 down for Team Infused. And once again, feels like we just keep seeing this. I'm having deja vu. 3 players from Infused constantly going down, and Respectful, he's left alone, and he's just got to stay alive.
And in terms of slays, the game isn't that far apart. We're only 29-22 in favor of Reciprocity, but look at the domination that we're witnessing on the map. The kills they're getting, they're making them count. As soon as Infused are off the spawn, they are just falling straight away. play, and they're finding themselves in 3 versus 4 situations, 2 versus 4 situations, and they're really struggling to win any sort of team fight.
They cannot stop this man. SnipeDown is on a tear, laying down all kinds of cover fire, just leading the charge into Cafe, whips out the shotgun, takes down another player, and they are insanely outslaying Team Infused right now. You're going to see Reciprocity get ready for a push here into Yard. They're going to let that capture happen, but push in shortly after. SnipeDown staying alive. Look at this. Spartan the dog there to help him out, and that's the teamwork you want to see here at the Halo World Championship Finals.
And considering Reciprocity Online had a 50% win rate with this game type, they're actually showing up a lot right now. Infused are one of these teams that are very good at slowing it down when they need to maybe push for a camouflage off spawn, which is coming up in 5 seconds, by the way, so take a look for that one on the map. But they're very good at doing that, but they're not being allowed that time because Reciprocity are just relentless. Look at this pressure. Every single time they spawn, they are on them like dogs.
Yeah, and that camo is not going to really be too much of a factor. Penguin was able to pick that up, but it looks like Reciprocity actually, I'm going to eat my words right there. Team Infused, they're battling back right now. Despite not getting camo, they did find an opportunity to pick up that second stronghold. But look at this, Reciprocity showing no mercy. They are going to quickly take that back. Penguin making his way up to top middle, and now I feel like we're watching the last few moments here in this game.
Yeah, even if Infused were able to get a few points on the board now, what they're going to really struggle with is Reciprocity just being able to bombard every single stronghold just to finish this game off anyway. So we're looking at game 1, probably going in the hands of Reciprocity. Infused doesn't seem like they've woken up, to be honest, Mike. This is not the Infused that we expected to see.
And 3 down again, over and over. Reciprocity doesn't have a single player drop from their squad, and Team Infused constantly having 3 drop. At least trying to get that trade, but it's not going to happen. Reciprocity are taking game number 1 in a dominant fashion, making it known that they feel like they are the better team here.
Like I said before the game, not the end of the world if Infused don't wake up in this first series, but it would be a fantastic chance for them to really cement themselves in the tournament early on. I'm wondering where Respectful was in that game. I saw him challenge a few players one-on-one, and he was losing those individual battles. That's not the Respectful I'm used to seeing. 5 and 11, -6. It's a game 1. You can forget about it, Mike, but it's something that really should be a little bit better.
Reciprocity almost outslain Infused by 20 kills. Complete outslain. I mean, what are you supposed to do if you're sitting in death screen that often? I mean, you can't really do too much. You got to focus on getting a decent amount of more slays. Maybe Infused, once they kind of lost themselves a little bit and they were falling behind, maybe they were just too focused on trying to get that stronghold, and they needed to just focus on getting a couple slays, get 1 or 2 kills, and then try and make a move, because they weren't really even getting too many kills.
I appreciate what you're saying, but I think Infused are the type of team that will just ignore the strongholds to try and get that slay control, but they were losing those individual fights. They couldn't win them, and they were finding themselves in 2 versus 4 situations far too often, and then they were just really struggling because of that. In the mid-game, I said the slaying difference wasn't that different, maybe 7 or 8 kills, and then as soon as Infused started to drop maybe 9, 10 behind, we just saw this huge burst of momentum come out from Reciprocity, and they really took advantage of a very slow starting Infused.
What do you think here? Slayer, Regret, is this a game type that Infused can come back here, tie the series up, and maybe rally this match back?
It's not looking great. Statistically, this is Infused's worst game type. If we look at both LAN and online records, they aren't above 50% at all when it comes to Slayer, Regret. But on the other side, it's quite lucky for them, because it's a similar situation for Reciprocity as well. They've really struggled at both in their online scrims and at LAN events recently. I mean, I know, of course, Reciprocity are slightly newer teams. We don't have as much statistics on them, but only a 33% win rate on LAN for them on Slayer, Regret. So maybe a good chance for Infused, but if we look at the amount of sheer pressure and slaying ability that was coming out from Reciprocity, I'm struggling to see Infused doing anything in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Reciprocity looking very composed. They don't look startled at all. They just want to get some more games going. They want to play. But for Team Infused, I think for me, watching them play in the European scene and then watching them play at Denver, placing the highest a European team has ever placed, that gives me a little bit of hope for them. Maybe they were just kind of warming up here, getting the feel of things playing against Reciprocity. So with this being both of their weaker game types, I think Team Infused, they have what it takes, but they really have got to be using a lot more teamwork. It's not just about winning those individual battles. Yes, they got to step it up individually, but they've got to work together a lot more.
We're going to be looking at their coach, Havoc. He needs to probably just be kind of like clipping them round the ear a little bit and saying, all right, wake up, boys. That first game, it doesn't matter. We've got a chance to get back into this series. It doesn't matter if we lose the whole series, but we just need to get some games on the board, get a little bit of power behind us, make teams worry about us when we play them later on. Oxygen Supremacy are going to be watching this, and they're going to be saying, yes, they're going to be out for blood, Mike.
All right, here we go. Game number 2 is underway. Slayer on Regret, first to 50 kills wins. Everyone is gunning for this overshield here at the start of the match. All 8 players just battling at bottom mid, and it's Jimbo who's able to come out on top, and they're able to get a 3-kill lead here to start the match. Taking down that final player, SnipeDown. Jimbo has got a lot of OS to use right here to make another push on this base.
Both teams very similarly sitting back, taking those early fights, hoping that they can win them and then jump on the overshield, rather than just sending one player to dive on it straight away, which some teams do, and it can actually play to your advantage if you are one of those teams. But it's worked out for Team Infused. They've managed to get the early lead that they definitely needed coming into this second game. And now Jimbo run out of overshield, but he does have a plasma pistol.
Yeah, look at this teamwork. You got players collapsing up the top mid. Jimbo with the reversal, hitting the noob combo, switching over and hitting the headshot immediately. This is, in my opinion, the #1 European player out there. Watch this guy all tournament long, pulling off insane plays. Jimbo finally taken down, but they still have a lead. 10-8.
And it's funny you should say that. I mean, for those who are maybe new to seeing Infused and don't know about this team, Jimbo was actually dropped for a very short period where Infused weren't really sure who they wanted as their 4th, but he was brought back onto the team when they realized what a fine addition he is to this squad. And he definitely wants to prove a point at this tournament. Infused, they have only that 1-kill lead. Reciprocity, they're just constantly going for these kind of pincer attacks, trying to flank them from both sides. Infused need to be very careful they don't get stuck in bases here.
Yeah, we saw Team Infused get sandwiched there inside red base, and now you've got Reciprocity. Look at this teamwork. 2 players moving around. That's a killing spree for SnipeDown. But constantly, when you're watching the players on Reciprocity, you always see that second player kind of just following him, maybe a second or 2 behind, but a player is always right there. SnipeDown winning a 1v1 battle. You've got Overshield coming up in 10 seconds as well, so we'll keep an eye and see which team is going to be able to pick that up.
Yeah, Jimbo, of course, the one who picked it up previously, so he's going to have the most accurate timing, and he's certainly looking to jump straight on this one and hope for support from his team. Might get burnt here, but no, he's able to dodge that, and that's perfect for him. Just needs to make sure he finishes off this kill. Doesn't take too much damage, but eventually gets the shot. Sometimes when you've got an overshield, you kind of do miss those shots because you know you have the ability to do so. It's a weird battle you have with your brain.
Yeah, when you feel like you can miss a few shots, but when it starts to happen, you're like, oh no, this is not good. This is not good. Well, over to Mosin. Now we're seeing a bit of teamwork from Team Infused to take down Penguin. Let's see if they can continue this throughout the game. Once we hit that 30 kill mark, that's really when you start to see the game either kind of a team pull away or a team kind of fall behind, because that's kind of the halfway mark, and that's where it feels like historically teams just, that's like the game start. This is where it's the most important. But back into the game, Kimbo, it's 23-21. You see a push here towards red. You've got a player pushing in from car side as well. But 3 go down for Team Infused, and that's going to be all 4. A clean sweep on Team Infused.
One advantage that Infused do have, because they have competed at so many tournaments nowadays, is they don't fear the names of the likes of SnipeDown that maybe a lot of Europeans would have done back in the day. They are more than happy to take these individual battles, be strong, be confident in their shot. And you can see it by how much they're willing to challenge. But unfortunately for them, their challenges haven't been that great. They haven't been able to find that individual skill that they're used to having maybe during their scrims or maybe online results. So they really need to step it up, find a little bit of warmth in their thumbs for sure.
Well, that's a killing spree again for SnipeDown. That's the second one in this match. He's continuing to make that push. A teammate behind towards pink side, and he's going to narrowly just stay alive. 3 go down for Infused. That was a perfect kill for Spartan. You've got Caster coming up, Overshield in 15 seconds. All the goodies about to pop, and SnipeDown, he's focused on making a flank, going all the way around, but it looks like a player was hanging back, waiting for that flank. But look at the score. Reciprocity, they are pulling away.
And despite the fact that Infused have had both overshields as well, they've just really struggled to get on that scoreboard, make that the 3rd overshield. Reciprocity just seem to not care too much about it. They're saying, actually, we'd rather have that top middle control. Everything's going fine at the moment. We don't need to desperately go for that overshield because we might give up too much positioning. But we need to be looking at is Jimbo. He needs to get a lot of impactful kills here. Try and get this deficit a little bit closer because they are running out of time. They will just end up losing this game if it carries on this way, Mike.
Yeah, it seems like Team Infused, they're just getting caught off by themselves continuously. And what a dodge there by Jimbo, almost picking up the double kill, but he's not going to be able to do so. Reciprocity now with a 10-kill lead. Looking really good here for Reciprocity, continuously moving around this top middle area and just getting in that better position. Only up by 9 kills now, but if you're Team Infused, you're gonna have to focus on not just going for these trades. You've got to pick up these kills, pick up some double kills, and just make sure that you're not giving away an easy or useless death.
Speaking of useless deaths there as well, Respectful is a man that probably needs to step it up ever so slightly. Just looking at the statistics, it's Jimbo and Kimbo that are pulling the kills for the team. Mose and Respectful both struggling, and that is not the way the team usually works, but they're bringing it back. Only 5 kills in it now. You've just got to survive. That is the key point, and I love what you touched upon there, Mike, because if you give away these silly deaths, suddenly your team's going to get a little bit frustrated at you as well. So you really need to be working as a unit. But 5 kills just needed here for Reciprocity. I'm struggling to see any light for Infused.
Well, the overshield is going to pop here in 30 seconds. I'm unsure if we're going to make it there. Jimbo trying to stay alive, but again, just the teamwork from Reciprocity. Time and time again, it is just overthrowing this Infused roster. Spartan making a push towards this pink side. 3 kills away from closing out Game 2 and defeating, potentially, Team Infused if they can take the next game. Spartan fighting the player down at bottom mid, but 2 of his teammates are going to go down. He goes down as well, and this is a 5-kill game. Overshield is going to be up right now, and we're going to see Kimbo. This is all the overshields going in favor of Team Infused. Can this last overshield push them a little bit further here to close out this victory?
And Jimbo's just got caught out on his own for maybe the 3rd or 4th time in a row. Just 2 more kills needed now for Reciprocity, and as I say that, just like clockwork, it's going to be Game 2 going to Reciprocity. Infused, they really struggled, but what I love from Reciprocity, as soon as they sussed out where one individual player was spawning, they were swarming him instantly. The amount of times Jimbo got caught out on his own, unfortunately, there was just too many to count. He was constantly going up in a 1 versus 2 battle, and considering the fact he still went positive, I'm pretty proud of Jimbo.
Wow.
But unfortunately, you got to look at that 5 and 15, Mike.
And you got to look at that SnipeDown. 20 kills and 8 deaths. Huge numbers for the veteran player who's been competing for so many years. I know I said the same thing in Columbus. The fact that this player, SnipeDown, he just amazes so many fans, so many, casters, and he amazes everyone by being able to just stay at the top of the game from Halo to Halo to Halo to Halo. It's remarkable.
But this series is really going to set the tone for the rest of the tournament for Infused. If they go down 3-0 and they get swept so comfortably, people aren't going to respect them. They're not going to go into their remaining series saying, oh, okay, we're the dominant team. People are going to say, actually, we can really take down Infused. They look weak. They don't look hot for the collar at all. So capture the flag, truth being Game 3, they really need to do something different in this game. They started well in that Slayer Regret. That's the big thing. I was thinking maybe they were just lacking a starting strategy, Mike. But they performed well. They got every overshield. But they were just finding themselves in too many 1 versus 2 battles. Maybe they need to start teaming up a little bit more. I want to see Respectful and Mose do the age-old thing we've seen them do throughout European tournaments. Pair up together and just absolutely dominate a map.
Here we go, game number 3, Team Infused. They've got to win this if they want to stay alive here in this series. Reciprocity looking to close this out in 3 games. Going for Camo here, SnipeDown, giving some cover fire. He's got Penguin next to Camo, goes down to 1 shot. That's 2 down for Team Infused. And we're seeing a quick move here towards the flag. And that's 3 down for Infused. Penguin hanging back, blocking towards these pink spawns, forcing those spawns over bar that car bubble. And now you're going to see the classic flag run towards pink side. Players spawning up over at car bubble. You saw him making a swift move here. That's 2, maybe 3 players pushing across the map. Penguin with the perfect kill across the map on top of that, but Infused, they were able to get a flag pull. Is it going to be enough though?
Mo's did really well to get back in and actually get some decent kills, but unfortunately they couldn't get a return on the board. And what you saw from the start of Reciprocity as well, yes, okay, you got those really important kills on Camouflage, but what was more important was the fact that Penguin was able to survive down there on the Camouflage. There was no trades coming out from Infused. They just couldn't find that final pistol bullet to the head. But now we see some Infused pressure, finally Respectful picking up some kills. And look at the Swarm. They're working together a little bit better now, and they're going to try and push into the base. But as I say that, Mikwin comes off the spawn and punishes them immediately.
You said it earlier, Dan. Individually, Reciprocity are just winning all their battles. Infused are just, they're not able to hit their shots like they usually are. Maybe they're startled or something. Something's happening over on their side. But look at this, Mikwin with the reversal to stop the flag. He'll go down. But as that's underway, you've got Penguin moving the flag across the map. He's going to make a fumble, though. That could cost them the flag. That flag's going to go down right on the ledge.
And we're saying that Infused are losing these individual battles, but I mean, realistically, they probably should be. Look at some of these players. SnipeDown, Spartan. I mean, they should be actually gunning for the title here. They think that they have a chance to win this tournament. Infused, though, they need to just show up and do something, because if they just get punished so easily in this, I'm really concerned for the remaining tournament. But I'm very impressed with Reciprocity. I didn't know how they were going to do in this tournament in general, Mike, but they're performing outstandingly right now.
And Penguin, finally, after about 45 seconds to a minute, they're able to continue that flag run and get that second flag cap on the board. Just absolute chaos towards that pink side, Red. And now we're going to see if Infused, they can keep this flag going. If they've got the cover, they've got the players here to potentially keep that flag moving towards pink side. The cover here from Mobes. Get nice grenade. Can he finish off the kill? That's the killing spree. Yes, he does. Picks up the double and across the map, I believe. It looks like that flag got stopped, actually. And they will be able to eventually get it in, though. And now Team Infused showing a little bit of life.
Yeah, that's really good from Mose, just being able to take that position, and look at that trigger patience as well, just allowing one player to cross his screen so we can get into a more advantageous position and try and get maybe 2 kills rather than just the 1, but he can't quite finish off Penguin. Chokes a little bit, has to drop because of it, so then he gives up his position, that is such a strong position in that base. But certainly Reciprocity will now know Mose is there. They know what a nuisance he's being at the moment, but there he goes, he falls, and that's going to be a chance for maybe Reciprocity to push forward and pull a flag here.
Yeah, they were able to clean out Mose, and now over towards Kimbo, getting some pink tower control. Something we haven't seen too much from Infused this game. Reciprocity really making that their home and just continuously making that one of their paths here to constantly make their way towards Team Infused base. SnipeDown, almost taking down Jimbo, but Jimbo, that's the individual skill you want to see from him. Mo's going to get some help taking down Spartan. That's a headshot. But a lot of time left here on the board still. About 30 seconds until that next camo's coming up. Kimbo leading the charge inside Reciprocity's base, waiting for this opportunity to get the flag. That's 3 down for Reciprocity. Make that 4 down, and they are getting ready to move flag number 2, getting it all the way to pink 1. Still alive. Trying to get his shields back, but a perfectly placed grenade by Penguin.
The key word that you said during that whole sentence, Mike, was help. That's certainly what Infused need more of. They need to help each other. They've been in too many individual battles. They're not going up against European teams that they can so comfortably dominate 1 versus 1. They're going up against some of the best players in the world that they really need that assistance. They need to work together. As Mikwin is being an absolute nuisance right now. Look at him just dodging into every angle, going down every possible hole, and that is going to be a flag return there for Reciprocity.
Somehow, when it looked like Team Infused, they had all 4 players down from Reciprocity, they were able to rally back, get 3 players into Team Infused base, and get that return. They move fast. They are moving quick, and Infused, maybe they were a little bit slow with that flag run. Would have loved to see, I believe that was Kimbo who got down to no shields, made another attempt on the flag to continue it at pink 1, but a nade came in and took him out. But look at this. They've got the flag all the way back in their base. Jimbo gets the return, and we're all tied up 2-2. Team Infused, they have the opportunity to bring this series back by winning this game. This is a big match for them. Even winning just 1, possibly 2 games here, could be incredibly influential in this group.
I know it's quite late in Europe, but maybe it's time that Infused are actually starting to wake up here. I love the communication from them. Jimbo was pulling that flag. He dropped it. He goes back for the return. This is one of Infused's better game types, both statistically and just from everything I remember from LAN. Maybe they do have a chance to kind of return back into the series with a win here. We're going for a bottom middle run as well.
Oh my gosh, that classic Halo 2 flag run towards bottom mid or top mid, either one into the window. They got that flag back. Kimbo able to take down Spartan towards pink side. Can he keep that flag alive? It's gonna tick away. No, they're able to get a touch. They toss the flag up. It's in their window. Is anyone there? I believe Jimbo's there. He cannot get the touch. That flag is going to be returned by McQuinn. Oh my God.
Massive.
The series
Massive.
Oh my God.
Such a triple. That triple kill from McQuinn was absolutely huge. He was just sitting top middle, railing down shots on everyone that was jumping for that flag. Infused so close to get backing into this series, but now they really need to work hard to just continue this map pressure that they've had throughout this last, 2 or 3 minutes, because they've got Reciprocity on the back foot, but they really need to work hard to make sure they can pull another flag here.
Yeah, they're able to burn that camo, so that's good on their end, making sure no player is going to be able to sneak up underneath their base. But yes, you said they have to keep up that pressure right now. They've got Reciprocity kind of fumbling a little bit, and they're making them not play their normal game. So Kimbo picking up a kill on Spartan. They're going to have to try and get some pink control again. Also, while pushing over towards this car side, you're seeing Infused make a wall of a push across the entire map.
Something Kimbo's done really well throughout this entire game is play that kind of anchor role. He's constantly pushed back as soon as anyone's in their base, and he has won those individual fights. I can definitely say that because we've witnessed it. We've seen it from his point of view. So credit to Kimbo for always being there. And now Mose is starting to win fights as well. And on the other side of the map, you can see they're starting to swarm. They've got Reciprocity stuck in the bottom of their base. But unfortunately, Spartan was able to get out, and he's able to rail shots from behind.
Look at this. Kimbo, he is able to get behind enemy lines, behind Reciprocity, and he's got their attention. Can he stay alive? Not going to be able to, but he was able to turn some heads and bring Reciprocity back into their base. Now we're seeing Reciprocity get stuck inside. Towards Red 1, towards Red 2. The teamwork's coming in. That's going to be 3 down for Reciprocity. And that last player is going to be able to stop that flag run, but respectful. He's continuing the run. He's running it out front to get that cover around Pink 1. He's getting it up into the window. Can Infused do it all the way into the base? Going for the ground pound. Team Infused. They have done it. They've taken Game 3. They're still alive in this series right now. If you're a European fan, you are feeling good. You know Infused have got what it takes to compete with the top North American team.
So much better. I mean, look at that last flag run as well from Respectful. He saw a player fall, and instead of turning around and taking that fight, he decided to just dip and dodge and run the flag around the bottom of P rather than straight through P to be able to dodge the bullets, get that flag back into the base. And Infused, despite a slow burning start, they've brought themselves back into this series, and they're showing what's up now.
And take a look at these stats. A lot more assists coming out from the Infused side, and 20 assists from Jimbo.
But look at that, 20 kills from Respectful,
kills.
21 from Mose. What was I saying, Mike? I wanted to see those two pair up and start to work well. We saw more assists from the team. We saw more help from the team. The communication was evidently better as well from these guys. They should be pumped now. That should give them that little bit of energy that it's probably given me as well as a European fan, but I'm not biased because Reciprocity have been playing absolutely phenomenal as well, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, just take a look at this stage, too. Look at this. Fans, are you guys pumped to be here or what? Let's hear you out there in the crowd. Are you guys pumped? We're pumped here. Are you pumped at home? Be sure to use the hashtag HaloWC. Let us know who you think's going to win this match. Let us know who you think's going to win the tournament by using that hashtag.
And a big thing, I mean, Spartan's dad, we know he comes to every tournament, right, Strongside? I believe that we also have Spartan's mum in the audience as well. She's making a special appearance to come and support the boy. And, well, they're going to need all the support they can get in this next game because after falling to Infused, that's always going to be a real struggle because you kind of feel, as Reciprocity, they should probably be winning 3-0 here. We heard the pre-game interview with SnipeDown. We're expecting a 3-0. We don't want to drop too many games, so they need to just focus up, forget about that game now, pretend they're still 2 up, and then go into this game 4 and try and finish the series off, put it to bed now.
It gets scary when you're up 2-0 in a series and then have to go to game 5. We're going into game number 4. Team Infused versus Reciprocity. Reciprocity leads the series 2-1. We're playing Strongholds on Empire, kicking it off with Mikwin, making a move towards Jimbo in the turbine. That overshield is still going to be up, and it looks like Mikwin's staying alive this entire time. 2 are going to go down, and it's going to be Spartan coming out on top with the OS.
And I'm going to start sounding like a broken record now, but statistically, this is Infused's best game type as well, Empire Strongholds. But you've got to imagine a lot of those statistics are against other European teams and not as much against these dominant US teams. On the side of Reciprocity, it's a pretty strong game type for them as well, a 64% win rate in online scrims recently. So they're going to be feeling confident, and you can tell from the get-go how confident they are as well. They've got the camouflage, and they've got the points on the board too.
You said it perfectly, getting both of the power-ups to start off the match, putting points on the board, getting that crucial stronghold, holding the pit. SnipeDown, though, he's going to go down by Jimbo with some incredible shots from him. Over to Kimbo now, flanking around towards the turbine, trying to get some eyes over here, eventually block some spawns. They're able to get control of the pit, and let's see how long they can hold this, though, because you're going to see Reciprocity move quick. That's something about this team. They play very aggressive. They don't slow down too often. And when you're not ready for that, if you're Team Infused and you're just having one player maybe go down, Reciprocity's going to say, hey, we're up a man. We are going full force right now, and it looks like that's exactly what is happening. 2-3 players go down there for Team Infused.
I mean, the fact that Reciprocity, 3 of them were on no shields, Kimbo got all of them down, but none of them died. They all stayed alive in that bottom hill. Those grenades just didn't come out from Infused. Reciprocity doing so well with the bait and switch to make sure that they can keep all of them alive, and now they start to put points on the board once again, Infused. So despite the fact that so many of them died, they are still able to get this control. One thing that Infused are really good on this game type is having that one player, Mike, who kind of flanks around as almost a distraction and can really be a nuisance to the other team. Expect to see the kind of your Mo's, your Respectful, to be behind enemy lines, being an absolute pain in the bottom.
Right you are. Well, Jimbo's making a push towards that pit. He's able to keep some control. And look at this. We've got Overshield up right now. Camo is up as well. I believe Camo went into the hands of Penguin, though. And now we've got Mo's holding that OS. So Infused able to get some time there with the Overshield and still keep control of the pit. They're able to get the reset. That's a big reset right here because Mo's, he's just guarding it with the OS now. Picks up an easy 1-2 beat down. Going for the double kill. Got some teammate helping him out here as well. That's going to be Mikwin going down. And look at this. Mo's is on a tear. He's got so much teamwork here around the pit. We're really seeing Infused come into their own.
I mean, that past 45 seconds was just perfect for Mo's. I mean, A, the thrust away once you've got Overshield to make sure you survive as well. One of the main things that newer players to Halo 5 really struggle with is when to use that thrust. Sometimes they'll use it for movement a little bit too early to get to a fight sooner, but you really need to know when to hold it, when to fold it kind of thing. Use it for a fight. Use it for a 1 versus 1. Use it to get a camouflage or an Overshield. Really good stuff from Infused.
Big plays here from Infused to regain control of this pit. It's been an all-out brawl here around the pit, and now we're seeing Mikwin. He's going to opt to go all the way around. Instead of just constantly putting that focus towards pit from the red base, or excuse me, from the blue base, he's going to make a nice flank. And you see, Team Infused, they didn't know that he was making this move. So Mikwin's able to get into that bottom middle pit, but it's not going to be enough. That flank maybe took too long. By the time he got there, all of his teammates were dead, and they weren't able to do anything. And over to Spartan, as he looks like he's going to get that capture, but Infused, they hop in, and they kill him and get the reset.
Honestly, bottom middle was like an Indiana Jones trap. Whenever Reciprocity step on it, all of Infused just burst out like spikes and pierce through every member of Reciprocity right now. They're doing really well at controlling pit. It's working perfectly for them. I'm very impressed with how in control Infused are with this game.
This is a big game for Infused too. A lot of people definitely maybe thought Reciprocity was going to take this series pretty easily, but Infused is showing that they are not making it easy for them. Infused are still putting points on the board, but this isn't going to look good for them right now. As you see, SnipeDown, he was able to get Overshield. But on the other side, Jimbo, he was able to pick up Camo. And we'll see what he's going to be able to do with this.
But we've been in a similar position. I mean, we look at the series before with Fable. They were up by about 40 seconds when they had Eden Strongholds as well, and they threw that one away. It is famously something that European teams do, is they really struggle in the latter stages against these North Americans. When they start to get a little bit hot under the collar, the sweat starts to come through, they just throw these games away. So I want to see Infused be able to find themselves in a situation where they can actually get to 2-2 in this series, show what they're made of, and Jimbo doing really well to try and take red base here. Doesn't have anyone contesting him, so he's going to be able to put points on the board.
I really like that play from Jimbo. The patience that it takes to not engage in any single battle with that camo. Yeah, he wasn't really able to pick up a lot of kills with the camo, but he was able to get behind enemy lines, stay alive, and really just be able to get an easy capture. And it looks like Team Infused, they may be able to get that pit control. Once again, he's got to be able to win this fight, and he does. Jimbo with the perfect kill and laying Spartan down, giving him no chance, and getting that capture on the pit. This is what you see from the #1 European player. Just some remarkable plays.
Absolutely huge moment for Jimbo. He definitely needed to win that fight, but despite his heroics then, we now see Reciprocity start to chime back in. They've got pit control, and Infused, they have to now go for another push. Red base is being taken behind them, so they need to all gang up here, decide how they're going to approach these next 20 seconds of the game. You've got Camouflage coming up in 15, Overshield in 20. This is one of the biggest moments in this game thus far, and a double kill is found as well.
We've got Reciprocity creeping up, though. That massive lead Team Infused once had is all but gone. Reciprocity closing in little by little as this continues on. They're picking up kill after kill, and at least getting trades. We saw SnipeDown pick up a double kill. Here we go. Kimbo not only has camo, we've got Mose with the overshield. This is going to be really big for Infused if they can pick up a few kills and get control of the pit. He's not going to get killed by the plasma pistol. He takes down Spartan. They're able to get all 4 down for just a moment for Reciprocity, and it looks like they're going to be going for the strip cap. They are playing aggressive. They are not slowing up. They are making Reciprocity play on their toes, making them feel like they have to play a little bit faster. Let them make the mistakes, and we're just going to keep doing our thing.
Credit to Infused coach as well to make sure he was on the ball with those timings, to make sure Infused could get both Camouflage and Overshield. You can see how important it was. They've gained pit, they've regained control, and Jimbo, now he's on the prowl. He wants to push into red base. He wants to stop Spartan being able to push out. A bit of body disrespect as well, just to say, we're Infused, we're here to play, we're going to have a good series here.
Look at this, though. Team Infused, they are going for that continuous strip cap. They are putting so much pressure on Reciprocity. Reciprocity has no time to go for pit, to go for that other stronghold. Reciprocity, they're just focused on guarding their own, the one that they have right now. Now we're seeing them make a move here for pit, but Jimbo, he's right here to answer back. It looks like another player is going to make it in. And can they stop this? No, they don't, but they're able to pick up a few kills.
But what a good amount of time wasting that was from Infused. They saw the fact they had the chance to get maybe 10 seconds on the board, so they got really aggressive onto Reciprocity. And Kimbo so close to getting pit, but it is now contested. He needs some help from his teammates, but he's just putting bullets everywhere. Grenades come flying in, but a big reset from Reciprocity.
Massive reset. It looked like Team Infused was going to be able to get that. They had 3 players in that bottom middle stronghold. So that's why that capture moved very, very quickly. They just needed maybe a half a second more longer, but it was Reciprocity able to sneak in and stop that. Team Infused with 91 points. They just need one last good control here. Overshield's coming up, and this could be it right here. Team Infused could get this OS, and they get the camo. Mose has Overshield. Kimbo with camo. Can they pick up the kills here to get this control? They've got control of pit. Reciprocity, though, you'll see they're on the move around bottom mid. He misses the back smack. Oh, no. He's going to go down. Mose is trying to stay alive, but he goes down as well.
But it's okay, because Respectful's getting the job done in pit right now. Unfortunately, we see red base being taken at the same time, so despite having the most contested stronghold on the map, red and blue in the hands of Reciprocity, but instantly Infused, they go and grab blue base. They say, we're not going to go down without a fight here. 4 seconds needed, Mike.
This is the battle they need to win here by the pit. They need to stop Reciprocity. 2 go down, 3 go down for Infused. Can he get in? He cannot. Team Infused, we're not able to stop it. Reciprocity is holding on by a thread, barely staying alive in this game. Infused, all they have to do is cap a stronghold and hold 2. That is it, and they will win this game.
And they could go to red. They could go to red and just hope for the switch, get that 1 second, and they'll be able to win the game because of it. They all need to decide what they're going to do in this moment, and they need to do it together.
It looks like that's what they're going for. On the other side, though, Reciprocity, they saw that. You'll see their bar is going faster. They have more players in, so they're able to get that cap. Mose, in bottom middle. He's got to be able to pick up kills. He's not able to pick up any kills. That's 3 down for Infused. They maybe have a 1 or 2 good opportunities left to make some pushes. And look at this. Reciprocity with the trip cap. Just when you thought it was over, Reciprocity have got the trip cap. They have held on. Can they close it out? Jimbo goes down. Penguin goes down. 1 player from each. Is Team Infused able to get the pit? They have 2 players in here. Yes, they are. 98, 99. Can they get it? Is it going to be enough time? No, it is not going to be enough. Reciprocity come back from the dead, and they will take game number 4, winning the series 3-1. My God, what a nail biter that was. It looked like Team Infused had it. I'm sweating up here just from watching that match.
What a way to kick off the World Championships. These first 2 games have been absolutely phenomenal. But Fable fall and now Infused fall as well. They can't topple these North American giants. You saw Spartan stand up with his arms aloft. You know how much it means to those guys to win. There was 99 points, Mike. 1 away from Infused for taking that to a game 5. But Reciprocity, they win and they probably secure themselves a chance in that championship bracket as well with a win like that.
Take a look at those stats. The man you want to check out is Spartan. 31 kills, 12 assists, and 20 deaths. Laying down some big numbers for his squad. Penguin with 20 assists. Everyone on this team going off. 91 slays combined here for the Reciprocity squad, and only 77 from Infused. So, to be honest, that's actually quite impressive for the Infused roster. Getting outslayed by quite a bit, but still almost winning the game.
I mean, they took it to them. Heartbreak, of course, from Infused to lose in that way, to get so close. I mean, Kimbo almost stopped it when they were at 99 as well. If he had stopped that reset, that would have been absolutely phenomenal for them. But they don't need to, they don't want to get down on themselves now, right? They had a good series, they got that 1 win, and now they need to move on in the rest of the tournament. They've got bigger games, they have smaller fish to fry. They need to take on Oxygen Supremacy and hope for a victory tomorrow.
If anything, they need to just take away from this, we can compete with the top North American teams. We know we can win. They could have won that game. They could have sent it to game 5, and they very well could have won this match against Reciprocity. So if you're going up next against Oxygen Supremacy, you know, I think you're feeling pretty good if you're Infused.
Yeah, they should be
feeling pretty
good. First of all, they face off against Maestro, but I mean, I think we've spoken now enough, Mike. I think we should probably we should find out what the analysts have to think. So, Golden Boy, what do you guys think of that one?
I mean, that was just an insane game, and what a way to close it out there. Reciprocity managing to win that one 100-99 at the last moments, getting that triple cap, and thus ending this miracle run that Infused were putting together in this series. But still, that was just heartbreaking to see. Plays that should have gone Infuse's way simply just did not. I think everyone knows what we're talking about here. And I'm looking at that, and it's like, you know what, Reciprocity, they earned that win. I mean, what a way to earn it. But Infused had that in the bag. We could have been going to a game 5 here. Wow. I don't even know. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Speechless, basically.
What a day. What a way to start off the Halo World Championship 2018 here. It's just Friday, folks. We got 2 more days of these shenanigans, but let's jump into game number 1, because if I'm being very honest here, to start things off, Infused kind of just looked like you had a few bots in the map there. They were just running like chickens with their heads cut off, and SnipeDown had a field day.
Yeah, he did, and Infused really just did not turn up to the first 2 maps, in my opinion, of this series. I mean, we were all sat here on the desk, guys, watching it, and I was telling you guys, I've never seen Infused play this badly. They were playing scared. They looked like they were just thunderstruck on the stage. They had absolutely no idea what was going on, and that was evident in game 1 on Plaza, and you can see it's all wreck all day long. I mean, by the time that Infused realized that they were playing Strongholds, Wreck had already won the game.
Yeah, we go into game 2, and it's just another Reciprocity show. I mean, I can't tell you how many overshields Infused got that game, but
4 out of 4.
Reciprocity still just had a comfortable lead in cruise control the entire game. I think it actually hurt them going into 3 and 4, games 3 and 4 in this series. Just being in cruise control, you got to make sure that doesn't happen to you, especially later on in this tournament when you're playing against better teams, because Infused could have easily came back and won this series.
And this game 3 as well, there was so many times I saw Mick win, more than once. There's at least 2 or 3 times where he got a triple just to try and get the return every time. But the one play I want to point out, and I'm sure everyone else at home and here obviously saw it as well, was the fact that when Respectful took that flag around the outside of P1 because his teammates and himself knew that the spawn cycle around Carbine and the flag has already happened, and they timed it so as he was pushing out from P1 from outside the base, he thought if he just take it around the outside, you know, he should be able to get away with it. It's a very, very risky play. It's one of those high-risk, high-reward plays, but you saw that he barely got touched as he got around the Eli side, which is showing now. And it was one of those plays where, you know, it was a massive game changer, and they thoroughly deserved that win on Truth CTF.
Yeah, but then we make our way over to Game 4, and this will be the final nail in the coffin for Infused. But, man, that was a very thin nail, to say the least, because this could have gone either way in this game. Infused is a map that, you know, Empire Strongholds, this European team performs very well in. It was noted by the casters, noted by us here when we were talking about it on the desk during the game. And just the way that this went down all the way to the wire. But I have to give credit where credit is due to the coach of Infused, Havoc, right? I'm making sure I'm saying that right. Havoc, who timed those overshields, timed those camos. Infused had so much control of the power-ups. Even in Regret Slayer, they had a lot of control. But man, it just fell down to those final few plays, Clutch.
Yeah, Reciprocity, they're going to have to do a lot better job of getting these power-ups when they're playing against the likes of Splice, Envy, Tox. You can't just be giving up overshield and camo time after time, because a team like Infused almost punished you. A team like Splice, they're going to punish you every time.
Oh, they're gonna make mincemeat out of you, man. Like, you can't allow them to get power-ups that much. But again, it's just a credit to the coaching of Infused and Havoc. So all eyes on you, Tommy boy. Over to you. Got to step it up, pop up. But anyway, though, I mean, what a match. And Infused, so now they're in this spot where had they beat Reciprocity in the series, that would have thrown the entire group for a whack, right? I mean, the storylines would have just changed dramatically. Now, though, Infused desperately needs that win against Oxygen Supremacy, which will not be easy. Oxygen Supremacy on the Bravo station defeating Maestro 3-0. They're feeling fantastic. And this kind of harkens back to the conversation we had before this game. Oxygen Supremacy gets that, you know, game against Maestro, kind of a confidence booster game, winning that one 3-0. Whereas Infused, losing the way that they did, that kind of sets you back mentally. You have to shake it off here, gentlemen.
I mean, you have to, for sure. My question is, which kind of position would you rather be in? Would you rather go into a series knowing, hey, we're 1-0 in the group, or 1-0 down in the group, knowing we have to win the next game? I mean, I know I'd rather be saying, hey, you know, we only need to win this one and we get out of the group, guys. But, I mean, that's just me. It depends. I think Infused, they have to respond in the game against Oxygen.
I'll say this. I think Infused losing game 1 and 2 the way they just did to Reciprocity, if game 3 was anything like 1 and 2, you'd have a completely different story on your hands. But the way they battled back game 3 and game 4, they competed against Reciprocity. They went blow for blow against them those last 2 games, and that's going to make a huge advantage for them mentally instead of just getting hot 3-0'd. Like, the potential was there for it.
And I do want to talk a little bit more about that game here, but I just want to acknowledge right now we're taking a look at what's going on in the Bravo station. Just an FYI for our viewers at home who are watching on Alpha may not know, we do have a fully casted Bravo stream that's going on right now. Full production, all that awesome stuff. MLG hooked it up big time. Make sure you check that out at mixer.com/HCS and twitch.tv/HCS, as well as MLG.com/HCS to see the Bravo action. But now we're going to be taking a look at Renegades versus Mind Freak. Harry, though, I do need to talk about Mose. Game 2, he dropped kind of a stinker. 5-18, 5-15, did nothing really commendable in that one. But that true CTF game, we saw a bounce back for him, 21-14, and then we started to see the Slayers show up. We started to see Kimbo and Respectful as well. You know, which Strongsight said Jimbo's his favorite player from Europe, but the truth is Respectful is one of, if not the best players in Europe. So to have him kind of slay out like that was very impressive. Lethal, your thoughts on Infused in that game?
Infused in that game, and John, like, with Respectful as well, it's like, in some events he has hot and cold air, especially for the last couple of events this year, which I found quite strange. But recently now, he seems to be more on point. It took him a couple of games, and you can tell that if Infused are playing quite slow, quite scared, maybe hesitating quite a lot, it's normally because Respectful or one of the other main slayers on that team are having a few issues in terms of their confidence. And
Yeah.
with Moze, you were talking about Moze before, like why goes 5 and 15 or 18 in certain games, but in other games it's a complete opposite end of the spectrum. It's because he's one of the entry slayers on that team. He's the one who makes a start at making things happen. He'll just run at you. He's kind of like Splice, kind of like a European Shotzzy in a way where he doesn't do as much damage as Shotzzy, but he always got that map presence to show that, you know, he's here, you know, hello, you know, it's all that good stuff. But the problems with Moze as well is the fact that sometimes he's over-aggressive. Sometimes he goes too individually, makes too many solo plays, but I can understand that because he's so used to the style he plays with his team at home. He feels like his teammates are still going to be behind him, but he's got to understand that maybe in tournament situations, when they hesitate, he just gets left out to dry a few times.
Well, and this is the end of that one there. Mind Freak will fall to Renegades 3-0. And Mind Freak, I mean, that was a team that, you know, Clutch, you had your eyes on quite a bit there, and we didn't really dive deep. We jumped into that one midway through. I would love to have known, you know, what happened throughout that series. Mind Freak needed that win.
Well, if it was anything like that game that we just got finished watching, I mean, that was a great performance by Renegades. I mean, 3-0, and at 3-0 the series, that's exactly how Renegades needed to start this tournament off. Those players have been around the block. They've been competing for over 10 years. All those players, they have the potential to break into the top 4. They haven't done it yet. This could be their tournament. APG has told me that they practiced a ton for this event, that they were ready to break in to beat the likes of Splice, Envy, Tox. He said, we're ready. We can compete with these guys.
But I do want to say, though, in Columbus and even in Orlando, really, Renegades have this issue where the second they start going up against a top 4 team, it's like they become someone completely different.
Yeah, it's
like they go from, I'm like, oh, Neptune's incredible, Ace, APG, oh, Lord, dear Lord, Lunchbox, a legend, he's back at it again. And then they go up against Envy or Reciprocity, and then you see and you're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
That cannot happen here, Wonderboy. They need to be at their absolute best. We need to see Friday Renegades every day.
I feel like there's certain parallels, honestly, to be drawn between Renegades and Infused, because Infused are like that every other team they go up against until they kind of go up against that barrier of a top 4 North American team. I mean, Renegades, you're absolutely right. They can't do that here at the World Championships if they want to break into that top 4, if they want to push further, maybe even top 3, maybe even get to the finals here at the World Championships. It's certainly possible if they play like they do on Fridays, but again, you're absolutely right. It seems to be a barrier that they hit. It seems to be almost like a mental barrier, right? They just can't seem to take down a team that is higher ranked in their own minds or in other people's opinions when they go up against them. It's really strange.
But with Orlando and Columbus as well, I think they said that they haven't really practiced that much for those 2 events. But if what is true, what you said about Renegades actually practicing, I want to see a practice Renegades. Because I always feel like with that team, they've separated themselves from 6th to 8th in terms of seeding, but the top 4, they're always a little close, but obviously not quite in certain games like where they get completely destroyed, and some of them are quite close. But I'm hoping that with the amount of practice they put in this time, we're going to see a full control Renegades and hopefully actually push for that top 4 spot, but it's just another situation.
All I'm going to say is this. When you walk in here to the arena at the Century League Field Event Center,
pretty cool.
You see the Hall of Champions that is to our left. And those players that are on that Renegades roster, they have a couple names up there as well. So this team has the capability to do it. But let's go ahead and shift our focus to our next matchup, which is going to be Tox Gaming going up against Wise Gaming. Tox versus Wise. Wise, kind of the Cinderella story in Columbus, winning out in those in the wild card rounds, getting that 9th and final North American spot. Meanwhile, Tox, this team kind of overperformed in Columbus and then fizzled out in the finals against Splice. But Wes, you're very familiar with this Tox team. You coached them to a world championship win with CLG back in 2016. Is this the event that Tox make the three-peat happen?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that Tox is my favorite coming into this tournament. I know Splice has won the last 2 tournaments, but until you dethrone the king at the King's Castle, you don't have the crown.
That's very true. That's very true. I like that. Speaking of the king, we actually do have